This is Umar from the Fight Wire, proudly sponsored by Gold Star Promotions. Been a while since I've been joined by anyone really, but Johnny Nelson, great to have you on. How's life, John?
Life's good. I'm glad you've gone out on your own. You're a smart, talented interviewer, so you'll grow and grow and grow. So I'm glad to be on your channel.
Very generous and smart and talented, but I'll take it off you, Johnny. We've waited a long time for this, obviously a rescheduled fight with JB and Dan Azeez, and it's got actually a bit of needle to it, which has surprised everyone within the industry because everyone knows their past. Used to be good pals, sparring partners, etc. But it's added something to the fight this Saturday for sure.
Frenemies. I call them frenemies. And this is all professional. It's nothing personal. I think the postponement as the last fight is probably thrown a little petrol on the fire because of things that were said for why it didn't happen. Dan would have taken the things Joshua Buatsi was saying personal, thinking you should know me better than that. I ain't that fighter. So I understand the idiot saying that, but coming from you. So that's giving him more fire in his belly to say, all right, let me show you. Dan's doing the right thing in regards to trying to put the pressure, the constant pressure on Joshua out before the fight comes because he needs him to fight differently. He needs him to fight aggressively, attacking. That suits Dan down to the ground. If Buatsi boxes smart, it's a harder fight for Dan, and Dan knows that. So he's doing the right thing, being disrespectful, enough to not be rude. He's being braggadocious, confident. That's who he needs to be. For Buatsi needs to keep his cool, keep his calm, keep his ego in check. Because if he keeps thinking that's that guy he used to deal with every day in the gym, he loses. He's got to go in the ring, respecting the man in front of him. He respects the man in front of him. This could be one of his best performances in his professional career, because then he's got to stick to what he does well. If he doesn't, he gets dragged into a tail. And this is where you look at the guy with a chip on his shoulder that's done it the traditional way, winning British, Commonwealth, European, in Dan, getting through once again. Because you look at him, you think it's easy. It ain't easy. This man's tough. This man's hungry, and that's what you want.
You've got a big day tomorrow, haven't you?
I'm looking forward to it. We're doing a live. Gloves are off.
First time ever.
And the Box Park at Wembley. First time ever. I think the studio audience, the crowd. I love being in live situations, and the thing is, it's going to be harder for the fighters because when we're in a studio environment, if one fighter says something that's dissing the other, the problem is, you can like and swallow it. But if you've got your boys, your fans there behind you, ooh, well, that man said that to you. I mean, that's where you think, I've got to respond here. So now you're going to see a real raw version of the fighters. So I actually like this. I hope it's one of many, but I'm actually looking forward to this.
Getting that over the line with Sky, I don't know what the conversations were, but that can go two ways, can't it? Because if it goes overboard, then that's a problem for live television. But also if it's not that interesting, or if it would have been better edited to make it more interesting, it can be dull. It can go either way tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes tomorrow.
Look, everybody's got to play their part. The fighters have got to be real and authentic to themselves. The fans, you can't predict the fans, how they react. So we can do our job. The fighters can do their job. The fans can be the fans. And if they enjoy it, it is what you see. You don't want to create a false atmosphere, a false reality. So I think that's what live TV is. So I actually like it. I like the excitement it brings. I like the unpredictability of what you'll get from the crowd. I like the pressure the fighters will be on.
Would you say in that role, you're the best at it in the world?
I'd say in that role, you've got to have done it. You've got to have fought. You've got to have boxed. You've got to have been in the ring. Because I know as an ex-fighter, if a reporter's talking to me, and I knew when he was fighting, and I see it with other fighters, if a fighter is and the reporter's talking to him, asking questions, you don't really respect where he's coming from because he or she's coming from, because they've never really done it. And you can't ask certain questions because I'll think, who are you? You've never done this. So to do such a role, you've got to understand fight language, you've got to understand the fighters, you've got to understand, that line that you can step over if you've been there, that you can't step over if you're a reporter. You understand? And that's the hardest thing. Now, fighters, listen to this, will get it. Whereas fans will think, usually, you've got to be in a situation where if you give me an answer, I'm going to question the answer. But if you give me an answer, and I've never done that before, I'm not qualified to think I know you're lying. So it has to be someone that's done it. It has to be somebody that's worn the T-shirt. It has to be someone that's fought, that understands boxing mentality and boxers, and they've been in both sides of the ropes.
Just to move away from this great fight between Buatsi and Azeez live on Sky Sports this Saturday at Wembley Arena, are you picking Oleksandr Usyk then? I saw your comments on TalkSport.
Listen, if, again, you saw what I said on TalkSport, and my TalkSport was this: if the Tyson Fury that turned up, that boxed Ngannou, he turns up to fight Oleksandr Usyk, he loses. He doesn't lose, he gets stopped.
Have you heard something specifically that's gone on in camp?
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're not going to share it.
Correct. And it's not just from one or two sources, and these sources are close. And so I'm like, damn, because all the way up to this point I've said Tyson Fury beats Oleksandr Usyk. And then you're hearing stuff that's happened in preparation for the last fight, in preparation for this fight, and I'm like, but I'm saying that the on-form Tyson Fury beats Oleksandr Usyk. But what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, if that Tyson Fury turns up, he loses. And I think Tyson, and I've always said, until it's proven, Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the world. So we've got to wait till fight night comes through. My worry is we don't get to that point. Because he's been really quiet. He's been really quiet.
That could be a good sign. He's locked away in camp.
Could be a good sign, but that's not Tyson. You know, Tyson's an emotional character, wears his heart on his sleeve. He's just been too quiet. Even if he's cussing somebody out, your gap tooth, whatever, or Nelson, you don't really talk about. You know he's alive. You know he's a pulse, but he's just been too quiet. So he can't win, he can't lose, because when he's quiet, he gets. When he's loud, he gets stick. When he's quiet, he gets stick. I just think. I hope I'm wrong, but if I'm not wrong, the signs were there. We saw this in the Ngannou fight.
So an on-form Tyson Fury, if he does turn up on the 17th of February, how does he go about being Oleksandr Usyk? Like, what happens in your mind in that fight? Does he back him up? Does he go to the body? Is he aggressive in that fight?
He's got to use his size, his height, and his reach to push him back, rough him up, make him feel uncomfortable, get him complaining to the referee, because Usyk's got that in him. We saw when he got tapped just above the borderline, he dropped down. So we know he's got that in him. It's there. No matter what you say, it's in him. And so Tyson's got to be able to do that. We've got to be able to pull that out of Usyk. So once he can pull it out, but if he can't, and Usyk gets on a roll. Listen, I'm hearing stuff in Usyk's training camp. Usyk's training, and I mean, he's got 5 big guys. He's got 5 fast guys that he's sparring with, and he's smashing them to the point where it's got this last week. They're only letting him do 6 rounds. The 5 guys, the 5 heavyweights that he's mashing.
Where are you hearing these things? You've got eyes in both camps.
This is what I'm talking about. So the guys that he's mashing are big units. So and every one of them says, you know what? They only see it going one way. So Usyk's in that position. So now he's tapering down. Now he's only doing 6 rounds because they think, you know what? He's peaking a little bit too early. So you're hearing stuff on both sides. Boxing's like a big gossip village, if you know where the right place to listen.
Okay. Well, if there's any more big fights on the horizon and we want to hear about sparring stories, just go to Johnny Nelson.
No, I'm just passing. I'm just a middleman. Don't blame the messenger.
Johnny, appreciate your time, and good luck tomorrow with the Gloves Are Off live event at Box Park Wembley. Yeah?
Box Park Wembley, get yourself down, get involved, listen, be part of the crowd, and see it happen live.
Thank you, Johnny.